Back to action from Africa Racing, the Lichtenburg 200, and Tony Haler's here. And the guys from Yellow Line and from Rousseau Fueling Station have given this little prize up for a raffle. And the lucky draw, the young lady going to draw the lucky man and lady's name. Who's it going to be? There you go. There's a very happy youngster. He's going to be walking away with an awesome little prize, and that's a nice initiative that's been put together here. Other nice initiatives, of course, are the support of local community and the church, the NKK, getting some of that support back here as we see Aidan Frith now into the river. Now, coming into the river, you would have seen probably some of the markers that are out on the circuit. There you can see on the right-hand side of that shot, they're going in there as well. On the left-hand side, orange Dayglow stickers and green Dayglow stickers on either side of these sections that they come into. If you have a green sticker at the top, it shows you you're coming up to a jump. If you've got a green sticker at the bottom, it tells you that you're coming up to a ditch. And if you've got 3 green stickers, of course, it's an incredibly dangerous section you're coming up to. So just ease off slightly and get through there. As you can see, some of the riders not holding back, even when they come up to those sections where there are lots of Dayglow markers. There's an example, as 2 of the quads come in there, Jacobus van Niekerk and Brian Hapst. Quads, of course, as soon as they get wet and muddy, you won't see numbers at all, especially if they get stuck in the water like he did. But I think there was a problem there as he came in, just getting roosted by the man in front, which was a little bit of an issue. Then, of course, they've got other Dayglow markers on the circuit that'll tell you where the rocks are, where the jumps are, and also where the kickers are. And for the bikes, that's exactly what they want to be doing. Hopefully the cameramen are around at those kickers to get some big airtime as they go through there. Guys are just making it through. It's a little bit more difficult than what they expected. I don't think these guys realized how deep that little river section was. And some of them just getting caught out and stalling the bikes on the exit point. Hopefully not going to be... Yep, gets going again. Nicely done. As they come down into this river section, some taking it easier than others, realizing that there's a possibility, and also possibly even wrong gear there. That might have just been a rookie mistake, but eventually clicks it down and gets out the other side. Wimpy de Toy now coming along on the 2-wheeler. Should be a little bit easier than the quad. Doesn't take up too much of the water. And then Johan Bronkhorst. Good ride from the youngster. Gets through very easily. Actually, nicely done there from him. Keeps it going along the river section. You can see just how muddy it's got along this river bank. And the more muddy it is, of course, the more the quads enjoy themselves. Bronkhorst now back out on circuit. And that, of course, is the older of the 2 Bronkhorsts that are out there. So a nice run from the 2 of them. Gideon Jacobs, making mincemeat of that river. No worries at all for him. Nice, great, fast run here along this little section, side by side, and parallel to the river. Marnus Kraft, slowly but surely making his way up into a possible top 5. Hopefully he's looking for a bit higher up than that too. He comes across the river, easily done, and keeps it going along the riverbank as well. In amongst those big willow trees. A little bit of a respite there from the warm conditions. It's not boiling hot today, but there is certainly a little bit of warmth in the air, and of course with the wind blowing, it's just cooling things down ever so slightly as well there for Ricardo Janssen van Vuren. Maintaining good pace. One thing you've got to be careful of course, is don't go off the track, because as always with off-road and quad riding, if you go off circuit, there's a possibility of finding what they nickname lurker, a rock or a stump or something in that long grass, so it's probably the best bet to stay on track. And the track is so well marked that it doesn't make it too difficult for you to stay on that track. Reinecker in full flight, and he is pushing hard, that is for sure. So he might have had an issue somewhere on track that he's taking the goggles off as he comes back into the pit section. They're going to get a clean pair of goggles now for that next lap. Remember, they're going to be doing 4 laps out there, so trying to keep it all together here, along with William Wilson. Behind Wilson, fast junior rider coming through there as well. Here's the man with a fueling issue earlier on, no fueling anymore, now just staying upright, and a good ride there from Tebe to recover. He comes back into the pit lane section again, and a quick refuel of the body as well as the motorcycle before he gets back on track. So now we're into the thick of this, and these guys and girls are not holding anything back. Barwai is also starting to put the pressure on. You see as he comes through there and through the river section. It's a good ride here from him, and looking for an opportunity possibly to get right to the front end. Theo could possibly win out the junior senior bikes. Louis Blom also in contention, and slowly but surely making his way into the top 5 for OR2s on the 250cc's. Benny Loebscher, he's had a good day so far. He'll be looking for a top 3 in the senior bikes if he can keep it all together. You see the guys are taking a bit of strain out there. Some of them taking their goggles off, some of them keeping their goggles on. My opinion, you should just leave the goggles on and try and wipe them as much as you can, because if you do get anything into your eyes, it makes it very, very difficult later on. Triple still with goggles on. A lot of these guys won't be running tear-offs because they're no longer allowed to run tear-offs, but if you do have the rip strip that goes onto the side of the goggle, you can run that and keeps your vision clear almost all the way through the lap. Most of the guys lapping, as I said, between 9.5 to about 11.5 minute laps. Some are a little bit longer than that, but the majority are in about that format of racing. Our young lady rider certainly enjoying herself out there on the quad. And Marty is holding her own in amongst the boys. It's good to see that as well as she comes through there and on her way to complete the lap. Jovan Skoltz having a magic run. Oh, nicely done. Good recovery, and a little bit squirty through the water, but it's getting a lot rougher through there, I think. As more bikes and quads make their way through that river crossing, it'll get rougher and rougher. Steinman finding a very good line. He didn't get caught up any of the rocks or underground that's moved underneath that water, because you're not going to see the ground under the water. It's so dirty at this stage. Here's the man they're all trying to catch up with in terms of OR3, and of course I think he's leading overall as well, Peter Karam. He's had a fantastic run here today, and you can see just the style of the young man, just absolutely perfect. Wheeling to the line. Adrian Klopper. A little bit of work still to do for him, and the possibility of making his way up as well in the class that he's racing in. It's good to see all these guys not holding anything back there. That 75 bike of Klopper's, well, he's upright and he's still standing, which is a good thing. 69 is Frans Krobler. Krobler also looking very good at the closing stages of this one. Lichtenburg 200 has been a good event, and it certainly has tested some of the riders and some of the quad bike riders as well. It's tested our cameraman too to try and pick up on numbers. There was no number on that bike. There was so much mud on that one. Red Bull Kinney kit there. It's good, but yeah, also battling with that man. And it looks like he might have just taken a slight detour. Certainly not on the same track that everybody else was on, but eventually gets back on track. And then Michael Johnson's going to follow him home. Looking good out there as well. A lot of guys running Liat braces and neck brace protectors as well as helmets. It's good to see. And that's up close and personal. Don't get much closer than that. That's a great shot. Flat out along the Jeep track here. Everything she's got to the finish line. Cameraman getting into a good position there, that's for sure. Getting up close and personal with all these riders that come flying through. 55 JJ Brits there just coming through. Possible top 3 for him in the OR2 category. And in OR3, second place at this stage is GS Forshire. So Forshire pushing hard to try and maintain that top 2 and maybe find a way to close down on Peter Karam. I don't think anyone's going to catch Karam today. He really is in a class of his own. You can see now all these youngsters and riders giving it everything they can here into the second and third laps of this incredible little event. Running up close and personal, actually just around the corner, and I think we'll see it a bit later on when we get into the cars, to the original Lichtenburg racetrack that was here. JJ Brits, oh, getting that corner wrong as he came past the Millie Fields, and just realizing that as he came in there, he didn't want to go through the thick mud, tried to avoid it, but then stalled the Husqvarna. Happy button on the Husqvarna is so nice on the off-road. Just push that button and go. Don't have to worry about kick-starting. That helps out a lot. So Forshire up into second place. I think he's sitting about 3rd or 4th overall on track as well. Not a bad run there from him. Eugene Stein also making up some ground. And Stein now up into the top 10 for OR1. He comes down to this tricky little corner. You see the guys running high and wide, trying to avoid the mud on the inside. It's not a bad plan. Andre Brinkman also starting to make his way up for a top finish in the quads. The quads won't be worried about the mud. There you go. See, slightly different way of riding when it comes to riding a